This is what will happen to the saboteurs who are betraying this Biafran struggle with Nigerian government. The story I'm about to read now is the story of Ken Saro-Wiwa, who could not believe his eyes at the last days of his life. Let me also remind us that Ken Saro-Wiwa joined Nigerian government to eliminate his own brothers during the Biafran War. This story is so touching. When I go through it, I couldn't hold my tears. It still boils down to those who are helping Nigerian government to kill Biafrans, and you believe you are doing the right thing, forgetting that when you betray your own brother and then went to get alliance with a stranger, that even that stranger will not trust you because he have already seen you as a betrayer. He can only use you and dump you. Let me borrow the words of Mse&Mnk, which he said some couple of years ago, that anybody who went to serve Nigeria will always come back in shame. It has happened on countless times, yet our people never learn by history. It happens to Ekweremadu. He is languishing in prison yard, and Nigerian government couldn't spare him. But if Ekweremadu happens to be a Fulani man, a Hausa man, or Yoruba man, I'm very sure he will never be there. Chimaroke Nnamani happened to him. It happens to Chuba Okadibo, the great man. It happened to Nnamdi Azikiwe, many more. Yet, hopeless is danger. David Umahi, Bianca Ono, Ato Ezenukpo, many of them, there are a lot of them, joining hands with Nigerian government to buy their own people. The reverse will be the case when the time is right. So please, I would like you to give me your utmost attention. And if you want this message finished, you didn't shed tear, that means your heart is too strong. So let me know, use the derogatory words. But I would like you to help me to share the video. If it not touch you, it must touch someone close to you. That means we need to stick together as one and fight for this our Biafran cause. Otherwise, most of us, or rather most of them who are sabotaging this movement, will end up like Ken Saro-Wiwa. Okay, Tukunkele will end up like this guy. So now vam one is na France. Nigerian government is paying one is na France now to sabotage this Biafran movement. Anyway, just grant me your listening ear as we proceed. It is a little bit long, but you have to exercise patience to hear the last end. We keep records. Amechi is going to come back home with shame. Wike, also, you people need to learn this lesson. Never forget this story, my people. Ken Saro-Wiwa and Abacha. Ken Saro-Wiwa could not believe what happened to him. Lesson: do not sabotage your own people's effort towards their liberation. He never believed that Abacha would confirm his death sentence. From Oputa panel revelations, on the day of his execution, unable to face his fate with fortitude because he believed that his sentence could be commuted. When they came for him, what he kept asking, if Abacha is aware of this. He resisted being led to the execution point, kept on protesting for time as he expected reprieve would come at the 11th hour. To calm him, he was shown the execution order signed personally by Sani Abacha, his right-hand man. But he frantically denounced it as fake, demanding audience with Abacha immediately. The officer commanding the squad, a junior officer, told him the only report his superiors would listen to would be report of his death and nothing else. Wiwa reverted to telling his killers how close he was to Abacha. The afternoons they spent playing tennis at 2nd Artillery Brigade in Port Harcourt in the 1970s. The nice evenings they used to have, that during the Ogoni protest, he had expected Abacha to have called him based on an old-time sake and asked him the least Ogoni would have accepted. Wiwa pleaded and pleaded for his life to be spared. His pleas fell on deaf ears. "Oh God," according to him, he screamed, "let my pleas work." His eyes were greasy with wailing tears. Why today should be the last day, my last day on earth, according to him, with a question mark. What crime did he commit that he asked for his people to have a share of the wealth that comes from their land, and the land that no longer supports farming or fishing because of oil spillage? He mistook the officer's dark reflections for contemplations of pity. Any independent observer would conclude that Saro-Wiwa deserves pity and more. He had worked for it. His efforts during the Civil War shortened the duration and saved thousands of Nigerian soldiers' lives. This is the particular area I want us to concentrate. Exactly what Wike is doing now. But he will pay the price. You see why the Biafran blocked Omanelu and the Isiokpo axis through Elele Junction. Ken Saro-Wiwa was able to organize guides who guided the Nigerian soldiers to infiltrate through a chain. Listen and listen good though. He guided the Nigerian army to infiltrate our own people and buy them, who infiltrated through a chain. Alolo link up to Ihiagwa and Nekede, connect to Obosioma and cut off the Biafran soldiers who had successfully blocked the 3rd Marine Commandos advance led by Black Scorpion. Wiwa was rewarded with appointment as a civilian administrator of the port city of Bonny Island. And it was really this bit of history that was the bone of contention. He rightly or wrongly believed he had equal stake in the territory called Nigeria, having staked his life and helped in defeating those who were neighbors to him. So the shares or spoils of war, for which oil was the paramount spoil, should be extended to his people, because without their efforts, it would have been impossible to subdue Biafran in the battlefield. Remember that the 3rd Marine Commandos were eventually routed from Owerri just before the end of war, wherein Black Scorpion, among the few to escape, had to escape dressed as a woman, for which he was court-martialed and dishonorably discharged. Adekunle the Scorpion died a pauper, neglected by the federal side he fought for. On the other hand, Ken Saro-Wiwa's erstwhile partners in conquest and crime believed they have more than adequately rewarded him by making him an administrator of the city of Bonny and also making him a commissioner in Rivers State. So he should keep off the oil, whether it was derived from his village or not. Posterity will judge who was right between him and those Abacha represented. For me as a scholar, I believe his requests or demands were in order. I will see deal. The fellow share. The child who pounded the paper is entitled to a share. Wiwa's fate had been decided the day he asked about the oil. The recipients of the message were people from the oil-producing communities. None would dare ask questions about our oil after Wiwa's execution. At that point, the captain gave his orders and he was lifted up. Struggling and protesting, till he was tied up and killed. When the question of the whereabouts of Wiwa's body was raised at the Oputa panel, one of the soldiers giving evidence reported that it was completely dissolved in acid. This is an intelligent narrative, beautifully written. But I should add that Mr. Saro-Wiwa, like Adaka, Boro, and many other Niger Delta youths who would betray their own republic, has studied at secondary school and universities in Eastern Nigeria scholarship. It should also be noted that because of Saro-Wiwa's betrayal, he was also rewarded with countless number of abandoned properties of Igbos, including some previously belonging to Chief John Anyehe, late father of Barrister Nnamdi Anyehe, COS to Governor Hope Uzodinjo. Late Sani Abacha and the late Saro-Wiwa once lived together in one of the abandoned properties he has seized. Ken Saro-Wiwa's son, Ken Jr., also died very young. He died suddenly in London on 8 October 2016, aged 47, after suffering a stroke. Finally, record that before Saro-Wiwa's arrest, he had run to the same Enugu and the same Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu he had betrayed to ask for Igbo intervention in his murder case. It was then that Ojukwu uttered that immortal word, Okokoroko, to the frightened Ogoni man. The meeting that Saro-Wiwa attended was at Hotel Presidential Enugu, built by Michael Okpara, who had given Saro-Wiwa scholarship to study at Government College, Umuahia, and also betrayed by the same Saro-Wiwa. Written by Chinedu Jidofo, Obu Agai, Political Headquarter News. A lot of things to learn on this. You don't buy the fingers that fed you. You turned against the same Igbos during the time of war, and when the government you fought with against your own people came for you, you then run to the same Igbos you betrayed, and to the same Hotel Presidential Mike Okpara, who gave you scholarship and you studied in university in Biafra land, and then you turned against them. You see one thing about this, in fact, the moral lesson of this whole thing is this, my brother. You see that word Biafra, you see that word Igbos, it is highly spiritual. If you are dealing with any Igbo man, physically or spiritually, whether in business, in workplace, as a colleague or whatever, my brother, my sister, if you can listen to me very well, be extra careful. Igbos know how to love, they know how to take care of people, but don't betray them, because if you betray them, the repercussion will never be, it will be, the repercussion will be severe. Because what is fighting for the Igbos, there are too many. Igbo man is too blessed for an awkward human being to bring him or her down. I tell you the truth. If you like, you agree to this word. If you don't like, you can as well continue in your argument. But you see it? That is when Ojukwu tell him, "Oh, kokoroko." You know what it means? Agaracha must come back. And now you want us to intervene because they are looking for your head. Which is rather too late. It's rather too late. Don't bite the fingers that once fed you. Hear this word, and it shall be well with your soul. That is what I want us to understand, and that is what part of the lessons that we need to learn on this very particular article. Well, let me just reserve any comment I have on this, but more of it, I want you to also drop your own personal opinion at the comment section of this video. These same people now, his own people now, are the ones who call for Igbo's unification in Okpanamo Delta State the other day, on 29th and 30th of August. It sounds funny, right? But that is a simple truth. So have a nice day. I'm regular continue to bless us. Okay, Mse&Mnk.